There comes a moment in life when you realize that fear has been controlling your voice for far too long. You understand that the biggest barrier between you and confidence is not your grammar, your accent, or your vocabulary. It is your fear of making mistakes. So many people spend years translating every sentence in their mind, waiting for the perfect words, the perfect pronunciation, and the perfect confidence before they finally speak. But while they wait for perfection, opportunities pass them by. Dreams remain untouched. Confidence stays hidden. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect moment to start speaking. They believe they need perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation, or perfect confidence before they can open their mouth and express themselves. But the truth is, perfection is the biggest reason why so many people stay silent. Every time you try to translate every single word in your head, your confidence becomes weaker. Your brain becomes slow. Your fear becomes strong. Anger and your natural communication disappears. Instead of focusing on the conversation, you start focusing on mistakes, and that pressure makes speaking feel difficult. The people who become fluent are not always the smartest people in the room. They are simply the people who stop being afraid of sounding imperfect. They understand that communication is more important than perfection. When children learn a language, they do not stop after making mistakes. They keep speaking again and again until speaking becomes natural. That is exactly how confidence is built. Confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is created through action, repetition, and courage. Every successful speaker once struggled with fear. They mispronounced words, forgot sentences, and felt nervous in front of others. But they improved because they continued speaking instead of hiding. The moment you stop worrying about being perfect, you remove the pressure that has been holding you back for so long. Your speaking becomes more natural because your mind is no longer trapped inside fear. Growth starts the second you decide to speak without overthinking every word. The more you practice, the stronger your confidence becomes. Fluency is not born from silence. It is built through uncomfortable moments, repeated effort, and the courage to keep speaking even when you feel nervous. Every mistake you make while speaking is actually a sign that you are improving. People often think mistakes are embarrassing, but mistakes are part of the learning process. Nobody becomes fluent without struggling first. The people you admire today were once beginners who felt nervous, forgot words, pronounced things incorrectly, and faced moments of self-doubt. What made them different is that they did not allow mistakes to stop them. They understood that failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of success. Many people stay silent because they are afraid of being judged. They fear that others will GH at them or think they are not smart enough. But staying silent only keeps you stuck in the same place. Every time you avoid speaking because of fear, you also avoid growth. Learning happens when you step outside your comfort zone and allow yourself to improve through experience. The more mistakes you make, the more lessons you gain, and the stronger your communication becomes. Think about how children learn to speak. They make countless mistakes every single day, yet nobody tells them to stop talking until they become perfect. They learn naturally because they are not afraid of failure. They repeat words, practice constantly, and slowly build confidence over time. That same process works for everyone, no matter their age. Fluency does not come from being perfect. It comes from practicing without fear. Mistakes also help your brain learn faster. When you say something incorrectly and correct yourself later, your mind remembers that lesson more deeply. Every error becomes experience, and every experience brings improvement. The people who improve quickly are not the people who never fail, they are the people who refuse to quit after failing. Instead of feeling ashamed of mistakes, you should see them as proof that you are trying, learning, and moving forward toward becoming a stronger and more confident speaker. Confidence has the power to change the way people listen to you. Many people believe perfect grammar is the key to becoming a great speaker, but in reality, confidence matters far more than perfection. A person who speaks with energy, belief, and courage can inspire others even with small mistakes. On the other hand, someone with perfect grammar but no confidence often struggles to make an impact. People remember how you make them feel, not whether every sentence was flawless. When you speak confidently, your message becomes stronger. Confidence shows that you trust yourself, and that trust influences the people around you. Even if your pronunciation is not perfect or your vocabulary is simple, confidence can still make your words powerful. The biggest problem is that many people stay silent because they are too focused on being correct. They become trapped in fear, constantly checking every word in their mind before speaking. That fear destroys natural communication. Real communication is not about sounding like a textbook. It is about expressing ideas, emotions, and thoughts in a way that connects with others. Some of the most successful people in the world speak with accents, make grammar mistakes, or use simple language, yet millions of people still listen to them. Why? Because confidence creates presence. Confidence creates influence. Confidence makes people pay attention. You do not need to wait until your English becomes perfect before speaking boldly. Growth happens through practice, and confidence grows every time you use your voice despite fear. The more you speak, the more comfortable you become, and the more natural your communication feels. Confidence is like a muscle, it becomes stronger the more you use it. The moment you stop being ashamed of small mistakes, your personality starts to shine through your words. People connect with authenticity, passion, and courage far more than technical perfection. Your voice becomes powerful when you speak with belief in yourself. A confident, imperfect speaker will always inspire more people than a silent, perfect thinker. Fluency is not something people are born with. It is a skill built through daily practice, patience, and repetition. Many people think they need special talent to speak confidently, but the truth is much simpler. The reason some people improve faster than others is because they practice more consistently. Speaking a language is like training a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger and more natural it becomes. If you only study silently and never speak out loud, your progress stays limited because real improvement happens through action. At first, speaking may feel uncomfortable. Your words may come slowly, your pronunciation may not sound perfect, and you may forget what to say. But that discomfort is part of growth. Every time you practice, your brain becomes more familiar with the language. Sentences begin to flow more naturally, and the fear that once controlled you slowly disappears. Repetition trains your mind to respond faster and with greater confidence. Many people waste years waiting to feel ready before they start speaking regularly. But fluency does not come before practice, it comes because of practice. Even 10 or 15 minutes of speaking every day can create massive improvement over time. The key is consistency. Small daily effort is more powerful than occasional motivation. When you practice regularly, you build momentum, and that momentum turns into confidence. One of the best ways to improve is to stop translating every sentence in your head. Translation slows your thinking and creates hesitate. Instead, train yourself to think directly in the language you want to speak. Speak simple sentences. Talk to yourself. Read aloud. Repeat phrases again and again until they become automatic. Over time, your brain adapts naturally. Every fluent speaker was once a beginner who struggled with simple words and nervous moments. What separated them from others was not talent but persistence. They kept speaking even when it felt awkward. They practiced even when progress seemed slow. Fluency is not achieved overnight, but with repeated effort, your confidence, speed, and communication skills improve more than you ever imagined possible. Fear is the biggest reason why so many people never reach their true potential. It is not lack of talent, lack of intelligence, or lack of opportunity that stops most people. It is fear of judgment. People become so worried about what others might think that they choose silence instead of growth. They stay trapped inside their comfort zone because they are afraid of making mistakes, sounding different, or being laughed at. But the moment fear controls your actions, it also controls your future. Every person who has ever achieved something great had to face fear first. Fear is normal. It appears whenever you try something new or step into an unfamiliar situation. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is not the absence of fear. The difference is that successful people move forward despite being afraid. They understand that courage is not about feeling fearless. It is about taking action even when fear is present. Many people imagine worst-case scenarios in their minds before they even speak. They think everyone is watching them, criticizing them, or waiting for them to fail. In reality, most people are too focused on their own lives to judge every small mistake you make. And even if someone laughs or criticizes you, that moment does not define your worth or your future. Temporary embarrassment is far less painful than lifelong regret. Fear grows stronger when you avoid the things that scare you. The longer you stay silent, the more difficult speaking becomes. But when you face fear directly, it begins to lose its power over you. Every time you speak, despite feeling nervous, you prove to yourself that fear cannot stop your growth. That small act of courage slowly transforms into confidence. No one becomes strong by hiding from challenges. Growth only happens when you push yourself beyond comfort. The people who succeed are usually the ones who are willing to look foolish at first in order to improve later. Fear may always exist, but it does not have to control your life. The moment you stop running from fear and start confronting it, you unlock a version of yourself that is stronger, braver, and far more capable than you ever believed possible. The way you see yourself has a powerful effect on the way you speak, act, and communicate with others. Many people enter conversations already feeling inferior. They believe their accent, grammar, or vocabulary makes them less intelligent than others, so they speak with hesitation and doubt. But confidence begins the moment you decide that you belong in every room, every conversation, and every opportunity. You do not need permission from anyone to believe in your own voice. People who speak confidently are not always the most fluent or the most educated. Often, they are simply the people who trust themselves enough to express their thoughts without fear. When you constantly doubt yourself, your words lose strength before they even leave your mouth. But when you speak with belief and self-respect, your presence becomes stronger. Others start listening because confidence creates energy, and energy attracts attention. Your accent is not weakness. It is proof that you learned another language and had the courage to communicate beyond your comfort zone. Many of the world's most successful speakers, entrepreneurs, and leaders speak with different accents, yet millions of people respect and admire them. What truly matters is clarity, courage, and authenticity. People connect more deeply with someone who speaks genuinely than someone trying to sound perfect. You must stop seeing yourself as someone who is not ready yet. Growth happens while you are speaking, not while you are waiting silently for perfection. The more you act confidently, the more your mind begins to believe in your abilities. Confidence is built through repeated action. Even if your voice shakes at first, continue speaking. Even if you feel nervous, continue participating. Every conversation becomes training for the stronger version of yourself. The world rewards people who are willing to show up with courage. Opportunities often go to those who dare to speak, share ideas, and express themselves boldly. When you walk into conversations believing that your voice matters, your communication changes completely. You stop hiding behind fear and start expressing your true personality. The strongest transformation begins when you stop shrinking yourself for the comfort of others and start speaking like someone who truly believes they deserve to be heard.